At this time, I would ask that everyone rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Greetings. Oh, shit. Greetings, fellow classmates, teachers, faculty, family, and friends. My name is Matthew Riem, and it is my distinct honor to welcome you all to the Radnor High School commencement ceremony for the class of 2023. So, while today marks the final exercises celebrating the completion of our high school careers, commencement can also mean the act of beginning, as in the beginning of the rest of our lives. If this sounds daunting to you, it's because it is. In the next 3 months, we will all be starting brand new somewhere else. However, I want each of you to take a deep breath and just know you're good. Our time here together could not have prepared us better for any challenges we might face in the real world. Despite enduring the difficulties brought to us by COVID, we managed to hold together through it all. From Raiders, we became Raptors, won multiple state championships, league titles, beat LM again, was recognized as the third best high school in all of Pennsylvania, brought back the legendary LM pep rally, and through it all remained united. I could go on for hours talking about the legacy of the class of 2023. However, we have a slate of wonderful speakers that will do that for me. It is my genuine pleasure to introduce our next speaker, whose voice I'm sure you guys are used to hearing every morning. My good friend and your class treasurer, Lauren Kelly.
Thank you, Matt, for that wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, soon-to-be graduated class of 2023. You'll hear from plenty of speakers today, most of whom will grant us luck and well wishes as we move on to this next chapter of our lives. While luck can help us in many circumstances, our time at Radnor has proven that this does not define our potential. Radnor High School has given us an unprecedented 4 years in which we turned to our hard work and passion to get us through. We stuck it out through computer screens, cohorts, and real classes to get to this stage today. I have no doubt as we all move forward in life, we will use the same spark that inspired us to adapt to bring success and greatness our way. I look around at our Radnor class and I am filled with pride. We pushed each other to achieve our greatest goals in these past 4 years, and I only hope we continue to grow as we leave this space together. As we graduate, we join a community that outlasts our time here. We belong to the Radnor Pride, and we will continue to carry a part of that Radnor ruckus with us through all journeys of life. Please know, as we move forward, you will always have a friend or a peer in me and in the people that sit next to you in this room. For me, I always found a friend in our next speaker and class president. He has stood as a proud example for all of our class, and I can personally say he has inspired me to be a better person. Though he's up working most days until 4 or 5 a.m., I have never seen someone push themselves so hard for the benefit of others. Our class would not be the same without you. I am so proud to call him a true close friend and introduce our class president, PJ Duffy.
Thanks, Lauren, and happy birthday. Hello. We could not be here today without the endless support of countless people. On behalf of the class of 2023, I would first like to thank all who have helped us along the way. You have helped nurture the immense feeling of security that comes with a profound sense of community. To our elementary school teachers, thank you for igniting a love for learning through show and tells and story times, and creating some of our earliest memories like Walk Through Wayne, Field Day, and Camp Canadensis. To our middle school teachers, thank you for teaching us to be more confident, forcing smiles out of our braced faces, and helping us find self-confidence. You turned us into better, less awkward versions of ourselves. To our high school teachers, thank you for bringing your enthusiasm for teaching even behind a computer screen, and greeting us with smiles even beneath a mask. Thank you for preparing us to take on the world. To our administrators, principals, and counselors, thank you for condemning our delinquencies with emergency auditorium meetings and applauding our accomplishments with friendly shout-outs. You've poured countless hours into ensuring Radnor's cherished traditions and special spirit carried through the most challenging of years. To everyone behind the scenes, cafeteria and maintenance staff, secretaries, custodians, nurses, bus drivers, attendants, and security, you kept the train on the tracks. Whether controlling the frenzies of Chick-fil-A Day, ignoring the banter at the back of the bus, or unlocking rooms when we left behind a binder, we appreciate you. To our parents, you've been with us every step of the way, from the moment we first boarded the big yellow bus with backpacks half the size of our bodies to celebrating today. You've certainly taken your fair share of photos, first days and last days, proms and dances, concerts and championships. We may not have always been cooperative, but looking at the post-prom memory wall, we're so happy you captured the journey. Finally, to my classmates, I feel lucky to know you and be a member of this great class. To each of us, Radnor means something a little different. I think what makes Radnor so special is that we celebrate these differences and come together as one class. For some, Radnor may mean singing Dancing Queen on stage in Mamma Mia, chirping your opponent on court in rec basketball, or putting your colorful masterpiece on display in Radnor's art show. It may mean scrambling to study for Mr. Miller's famed econ class, or gasping in response to your latest score on Mr. McBride's calc test. It may mean performing the greatest ever senior boys dance in the LM pep rally, or crushing it on the dance floor at senior prom. Regardless of what Radnor means to you, we are now equipped with memories, friendships, and skills that will help us navigate the future. No doubt there will be times when we feel vulnerable or uncertain, but our Radnor roots will give us the strength to risk failure. As I reflect on the last 4 years, I realize it sometimes takes being uncomfortable to reach our full potential. The lacrosse team practiced through the winter in bitter temperatures and cold rain. Now, they have 2 state championships under their belt and a 3rd on the way. The color guard rehearse the same tedious skill practice after practice. They then won a tournament against schools from 9 states. The basketball team sacrificed time with family and friends to practice over holidays and breaks. They just took 2 unprecedented runs in the state championships. And perhaps most impressive of all, our multilingual classmates who moved to Radnor from communities across the globe: Brazil, China, Guatemala, India, Korea, Mexico, Nepal, Pakistan, and more, overcame cultural and linguistic barriers. They became members of our community, building friendships in and out of the classroom. So when we leave the safety net of Radnor, let's challenge ourselves to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. For some of us, our next step is right here in our own backyard, and for others, it is halfway across the world. Wherever that next step may be, each of us will face our own set of challenges, and in those moments, we'll have our own opportunities to learn just how far we're capable of going. Let's discover untapped interests by exploring new classes and hobbies. Let's engage with people and places completely different from our own. Let's be catalysts for change when we believe our friends, community, or society can be better. Let's lead our lives with compassion, considering and respecting alternative perspectives. Let's embrace uncertainty as indicative of limitless possibilities. And through it all, let's show up for our family and friends, even when life gets busy. If we have each other's backs, who knows where our ambition will take us? Skylar Lee and Edie McKenzie may become the next rocket scientists at NASA. Sammy Rosen and Eleanor Adams may become journalists for the New York Times. Mirena Ordóñez Lopez and Afia Fatima Abdulaziz may become leading doctors for Penn Medicine. Tommy DeShan and Julia Ribeiro Cavallo may become generals in the US military. Oh, and Nick Monty may become the next chapter president at The Ohio State University. The future holds great things for us. I'm sure of that. We'll travel to places near and far and learn new and exciting things. But the future will also have ups and downs and twists and turns. Times may get tough, but find comfort in knowing Radnor will always be here for you. It is now my honor to introduce our next speaker. I found out yesterday that instead of speaking after him, I would speak before him. Lucky me. It's never easy following our next speaker. You're all in for an entertaining 5 minutes. I'm excited to introduce a veteran of the stage and our executive director, Michael McNicholas.
All right. All right. So I'm already going to start off going off script, but somebody reminded me this morning, and she's very near and dear to my heart. Today is a special day for a lot of different reasons, and for me, it's also a special date. June 7th, 2022, close. June 7th, 2022, I walked into Radnor High School for the first time after being at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia for 3 weeks, after being in recovery. Now, 1 year later, I stand here about to graduate. That is absolutely, I honestly, last year, wasn't sure if I'd get to be here today, and now I am, and thank you to everyone. As introduced by PJ, my name is Michael McNicholas, and I had the great honor of being the 2022-23 Executive Director of Student Affairs. To my family, my spacious dog-friendly friends, my 2 Lancaster Ave pals, and my 113 girlies, thank you for loving me more than anybody else. Thank you for supporting me through my trials and triumphs and never losing hope in me. To the rest of my peers, thank you for spending the past 13 years at Radnor with me. The smiles and memories we have made have surely made the time fly by. Today, I could not just say thank you to my teachers. I needed to do something more. I needed to do something special. Organized from elementary school to high school, I'd like to share with you 23 lessons I've learned from 23 educators in Radnor Township. Mrs. Cinto, distance may separate you, but they will always be in your heart. Mrs. Siegel, resilience is power. Mrs. Cooper, do not focus on the difficult things that happen, focus on how you grow from the difficult things. Mrs. Doyle, leave the world a better place than you found it. Mrs. Doherty, you can do anything you put your mind and your heart to. Mrs. McNally, the smallest moments in life are the most beautiful. Mrs. Morikawa, your closest friends can come from the most unexpected places. Dr. Glennie, self-acceptance is a hard battle, but a winnable one. Mr. Dietzler, believe in yourself, not what others believe of you. The Drews, music eases the mind. Mrs. Benedict, being prepared is the first step to being successful. Mr. Capone, life is wild. You're going to get plenty of crazy stories, and don't be afraid to share them. Mrs. Trollin, just because you aren't good at something does not mean you aren't good at everything. Doc Molman, take care of your health first. Everything else can be sorted out later. Mr. Ruby, embrace what you are passionate about. Miss VS, be kind to others. Mrs. Kevgis, hard work is met with sacrifice, but the sacrifice is beyond worth it. Mrs. Rains, everything happens for a reason. Mrs. Greenwald, you are never alone. You will always have someone in your corner. Mrs. Trazo, opening up is not a bad thing. You can trust others, and they will be there for you. Mrs. Reardon, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Mrs. Wilde, the truth may sometimes hurt to hear, but the truth leads you to find the best version of yourself. And number 23, Miss Consul, you are loved. While I may be going 15 minutes away from college, I will no longer be physically present with these people I mentioned, or the many others. But as pointed out in lesson number 1, the distance from my teachers will not take away from what I have learned from them. In Disney's The Lion King, as Simba questions his identity and his strength, Rafiki tells him to look into the stars, and he will see his father. He will be reminded of what his father taught him. As students at Radnor, we have all had different experiences and different lessons learned. Nonetheless, I never want you to forget what you have learned. Graduates, underneath your chairs today, you will find a glow-in-the-dark star. Go ahead, you can grab it. Take this star home with you, and at the end of the summer, take it to your dorm. No matter how far you are, like Simba, you can look into your star and be reminded of your teachers at Radnor who taught you invaluable lessons, lessons you can keep in your heart for the rest of your life. My journey to this stage today was not a smooth one, but a one filled with many bumps in the road. Fellow graduates, please take care of yourselves before anything else. You are important, you are heard, and as per lesson number 23, you are loved. Thank you, Radnor. This has been your executive director speaking to you one last time.
PJ was right. You got lucky. That's a hard act to follow. Good evening, class of 2023. Before I begin, stop and take a look around. You did it. And not only did you do it, but the administrative team is still all in one piece. Well, for the most part. I mean, Dr. McNamara's beard used to be completely brown, and his eye didn't twitch before. But let's not make him really self-conscious about that. I thought a lot about what I wanted to say to the class of 2023, and I started to go through the past 4 years of memories. There are so many wonderful ones to choose from. I thought about your junior year, when we still had assemblies on Zoom, and how a few of your peers choose to place some interesting yet memorable comments in the chat to a nationally known presenter and the meeting with all of you that followed. Or maybe I should start with some of my recent favorites, your 65th skip day, or was it the 95th? How about when a rogue member of the class of 2023 put a boot on my car, since none of you could decide on a senior prank? Yes, I know who you are, and that was a great way to start Memorial Day weekend. From an impromptu barbecue catered by Chick-fil-A in the senior lot last week, and up until this past Monday night when our seniors thought it would be a great last-minute prank to show up 2 hours late to graduation practice yesterday. Class of 2023, you have given us a run for our money, but you have also given us so many wonderful memories that we will cherish. It was our honor and joy to watch you grow into the amazing young adults that you have become and to help guide you along the way. Tonight, we are here to celebrate all of you. The grace, tenacity, and diligence that you have shown over the past 4 years is truly remarkable. As I said on Monday night, we started this journey together 4 years ago when I became principal, and now we graduate together to new beginnings. We endured what was likely the most challenging time in education, and you never missed a beat. Think about everything that has happened during your time at Radnor High School. A new school start time, a new mascot, remote learning, phase 1, phase 2, cohort A, cohort B, an outdoor pep rally, an indoor pep rally, with the best boys and girls dance I have ever seen. And construction on campus. And all of this, just the past 4 years. So much of it when you were new and just coming to the high school, and you never missed a beat. You serve as an inspiration for me, your teachers, and the Radnor community. In the future, when you face challenges, I hope that you will look back on your time at Radnor High School and remember how strong you were in the face of adversity, how much you've grown, and how much you've already achieved. And this is only the beginning. It is important to remember that most successes in our lives are not achieved in isolation. Your family, teachers, mentors, and peers serve as a support system for you, but no one played a more critical role in your development than your parents and guardians. They are your biggest cheerleaders and your strongest advocates. Class of 2023, when you process out of this pavilion as alumni of Radnor High School, please do not forget to thank everyone who got you here today, especially your parents and guardians. Finally, if I could leave you with one life lesson, it would be this. Every experience in your life, good or bad, is for a reason and helps to make you who you are. When you experience a success, embrace it, but remember to equally embrace your failures, because there is always something to be learned. I can tell you that in my 29 years, who am I kidding? My 49 years, I have learned a lot more from my struggles than my successes. If you make a mistake, acknowledge it, own it, learn from it, and move on. It is not always the easiest thing to do, but it is the most important thing so that you can grow. Okay, I think you've heard enough from me. It's time to introduce our keynote speaker. As you may know, every year, our senior leaders, in collaboration with me, identify who they would like as the keynote speaker for commencement. This year, our fearless class president, PJ Duffy, and our executive director, Michael McNicholas, made a captivating newscast asking our keynote speaker if he would honor us and speak at commencement. I think that we were all a little nervous, to say the least, to ask such a legend to be our speaker, but fortunately, he said yes. Mr. Jim Gardner, who I think a few of you might know, helped guide viewers of Action News through every news event, large and small, since 1976. Mr. Gardner was born, raised, and educated in New York City, but has lived most of his adult life in Philadelphia, and his roots run deep. He received his Bachelor of Arts from Columbia University in 1970. As a student, Mr. Gardner got his first taste of broadcast journalism when he reported on the historic riots in Columbia in 1968. Following his graduation in 1970, Mr. Gardner worked at the All News Winds Radio in New York. In 1972, Mr. Gardner joined WFAS Radio in White Plains, New York. 2 years later, he began television broadcast career at WKBW-TV in Buffalo. On June 1st, 1976, Jim Gardner joined WPVI in Philadelphia as a reporter and anchor on Action News at noon. On May 11th, 1977, he assumed the role of anchor of Action News at 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. More than 4 decades later, on December 21st, 2022, Jim anchored his last regularly scheduled broadcast. It is safe to say that so many of us miss seeing Jim every night on Action News. The comfort, the care, and the trust that he brought to his viewers is irreplaceable. He is a Philadelphia icon, and yet he is one of the humblest people that I have ever met, with an absolute heart of gold. It is my honor to introduce Mr. Jim Gardner.
Hi, guys. All of you have these very serious expressions on your face. Can you do me a favor and smile just for a minute? Thank you. That might make its way into the Radnor Reader, but that's up to some folks sitting behind me. Obviously, the big story tonight is all of you and the entire Radnor High School community. Mr. Batchelor, Mrs. Kefkis, members of the school board, parents, and guests. It is an indescribable honor for me to be here to help celebrate the members of the Radnor High School class of 2023. Please. And thank you to the students who invited me to share in this milestone. Now, to all the graduates, let me say this. However much you may have occasionally tried the patience of your mentors in the administration of this great school, you have arrived at this moment because you have earned it. No matter what your next destination is, college, the workplace, the military, or otherwise, you should be superbly well prepared for the challenges that await you. And while you deserve to claim credit for all of that, and you do, there are a lot of people in this arena tonight who have given you their support and their love. It would be a wonderful gesture if you all stood, faced your parents and teachers, and expressed your appreciation with some cheers and applause. Let's do that. I thought I'd hear louder applause than that, but that's okay. I'm not here to question your relationships with, forget it. So as the weeks and days passed by, and I still hadn't written this graduation speech, I kept asking myself, do I dare see what I can get out of ChatGPT? I thought I'd get a louder laugh line than that. But I thought, am I too proud for a little help from AI? Some of you graduating seniors might think, well, that was a cool idea. In fact, some of you graduating seniors may have experienced the same temptation at some point in the last year or so. And most of your parents have no idea what ChatGPT is. Well, the first thing I knew I had to do was to come up with some prompts, right? You have to prompt to get what you want out of ChatGPT. So the first prompt, write a commencement speech for the smartest class in the history of Radnor High School. Man. But in truth, also a class that really knew how to push the envelope. For example, might they call a skip day rather than attend their own graduation? I didn't know for sure. More prompts. It's the class that obsessed over the best couple that never was. Hi, Lauren. Good to see you. But ChatGPT wanted more. Okay, how about hashtag we're still champs? I mean, isn't enough already? Or have we figured out who painted Carson Feinberg's name all over the field house last summer? No, we still haven't found out. Okay. But then I thought, there is a prompt or two that the entire, Lauren, it's okay, that the entire community can seriously appreciate. This is the class that triumphed over the trials that COVID brought to Radnor. It rebuilt the sense of community here, and most of all, it restored beloved traditions, not the least of which was the first indoor LM rally since before the pandemic. There were a lot of kids on campus who had never experienced LM Week because of COVID. But the Top Gun rally restored order and made things the way they were supposed to be. Of course, so did Radnor's 14-0 triumph over Lower Merion. More prompts. More prompts, more sports prompts, begged ChatGPT. Easy. 29 and 1. The historic Central League and district champion Radnor boys basketball team. I salute you. I had so much fun in the stands watching your season. Congratulations. So I fed in all these prompts into ChatGPT, expecting AI to give me a startlingly good and personalized graduation speech. Instead, this is what I got. Quote, sorry, Jim, the Radnor High School class of 2023 is obviously too interesting and too worthy for anything less than a speech written by a human. I acknowledge AI fail. Unquote. Okay, when AI fails, then we take over. And so this is now what comes from my head and my heart. I envy all of you for what you're about to experience. Unlimited exploration if you want it, the benefit of your mentors and your peers' wisdom if you'll use it, and the opportunity to really learn about yourself if you'll take it. Yes, college is about books and hopefully more seminars than big lectures. But to my mind, the most important part of your education derives from coming to know peers who are different than you, who perhaps see the world and their place in it in ways that you never even contemplated, who make you question your own long-held assumptions about yourself, what you're supposed to think, what others expect of you, and what your own future is supposed to look like. So many young people, especially those coming from high-powered academic communities like Radnor High School, feel pressure to have a plan. If you haven't been asked today, you're likely will be asked over the next year or so, what do you want to do? Consulting, law school, teaching, engineering. Or what trade are you committed to learning if you choose not to go to college? Or if the military is your future, will you settle for anything less than being a Top Gun pilot? The point is that even when people like your peers or even your parents' friends are just trying to show interest in you, there is this notion that you're supposed to know, even at 18, how you want to spend the rest of your life. For almost all of you, that is just plain absurd. Why put that kind of pressure on yourself, for one? And why limit yourself during the very years when your minds and your hearts can be accessible to any and every possibility? And this is fact. Some of you, if not many of you, if not most of you, will change your majors in college and your notions of what the future might look like. I think there is one word that is more precious and more valuable to you as you embark on this incredible journey. Whether you're going to college or setting out on a trade or headed to the military, that word is possibilities. For you, they are unlimited. There's another word, responsibility. For most of you, you are really only responsible for yourselves at this point in your lives. So perhaps this is the time, starting today really, when you can delight in those possibilities without having to choose, without having to commit. That will come in time. I went to college as a pre-med. My father was a doctor. And from the time I was 5 years old, when I got my first playtime doctor's bag with a plastic stethoscope inside, I knew I was going to be a doctor. Well, that lasted until my first inorganic chemistry exam a month into my freshman year. So I spent a couple of years just taking my core requirements, majoring in political science, but meandering through the thicket of my own academic aimlessness. And then, completely unattached to any plan or any blueprint, I happened upon the college radio station. And boy, did I love it. I loved everything about it. News, sports, music, the equipment that we were using. It seemed so complicated and advanced. The people I was meeting, I adored being around the station. And everything I could learn, I did. And I surely never anticipated that that's where my passion would show itself. And then in 1968, when political protests rocked my campus and effectively shut my university down for much of the spring semester, there I was in a position to be a student journalist, taking part in our almost continuous coverage of what turned out to be historic events, and in effect taking the first fledgling steps of what turned out to be a 54-year career. It sure wasn't planned. In fact, it only happened because Plan A turned into Plan C-. I have a new friend by the name of David Kim. He is a world-class violinist, and he is concertmaster of the Philadelphia Orchestra. When he was in his mother's womb, she decided that her son would become a concert violinist, that he would start serious study at 3 years old, and this would be his life. And indeed, that's what happened. David did not get to choose. It is one thing to have a plan chosen for you when it turns out that you have extraordinary talent and a chance to become the principal violinist of one of the great orchestras of the world. But I think that David is the exception that proves the point. Relax. Discover the possibilities. You will never have such an opportunity as you do now. Can we look inward for just a second? Some of you, or many of you, have at one time or another tried to cope with personal or emotional issues that have caused you discomfort. I mean, how could you not in this complex society of ours that for many of us can be so difficult to navigate, at least now and again? If this is you, you've been fortunate to attend a school that is committed to providing its students with support, whether it be academic, social, or emotional. And now you're leaving this familiar place. Its teachers, its advisors, its mentors, who in some cases have become almost like second parents, or at the very least, trusted people for whom you could go to for support. In a sense, I echo the words of your class president, Mr. Duffy. Don't be shocked if your next destination comes with its share of stresses, along with all the excitement and all the promise. The most important thing I can say to you today, please never feel like you're alone if you're struggling. There are always resources created specifically for you. And if you think you're the only kid among your newfound friends and schoolmates trying to work things out, maybe missing home, maybe thinking you're not good enough to succeed, maybe feeling overwhelmed by other people's expectations, don't keep these worries cooped up inside. Free yourself from stigma. Stigma is way out of date. Some, or many, or perhaps even most of your peers will be struggling with something. Help yourself reclaim your sense of pride and dignity. Reach out. There is no shame, ever. Something else. I'm troubled by what's been happening on a lot of college campuses. Maybe the worst thing I can do here is to dip into anything that has even the scent of politics, but alas, it did constitute much of what I did for a living for a long time. Some colleges, in their effort to respect the sensibilities of all their students, especially those who come from backgrounds that have been historically oppressed, have limited the scope of speech on campus. Some colleges have banned certain kinds of speakers from campus, even when those speakers have been invited by students. There is no question that vile or violent speech has no place on campus, or for that matter, anywhere. But I worry that young people with dramatically expanding minds are being shielded from what is merely uncomfortable. How is it a good thing for our future thought leaders, like yourselves, to be exposed to speech or pedagogy that is exclusively comfortable? We're experiencing something in America right now that does not serve democracy and therefore its citizens well. And perhaps you've seen this in your own home. Folks are watching and reading only the news that they already agree with. First of all, I'm one of those old fogies who believes that news should be unbiased, providing people with information so that they can draw their own conclusions about the critical issues facing society. But the fact is that we have seen the rise of so-called advocacy journalism, and it dominates cable TV. When you turn on Fox or MSNBC, you are likely to be able to anticipate the points of view that you will hear. It's probably pointless to rail against the existence of advocacy journalism. It is here to stay. What is not pointless is understanding that responsible citizens, us, have the obligation to seek out different opinions, different perspectives. And that doesn't just apply to the news stations we watch, or the newspapers we read, or the places we go to on social media. For you young men and women, it also means whom you choose to talk to on your freshman floor in your dorm, or where you park yourself in the dining hall, or in your new trade school or workplace. Are you only seeking out people who look like you or think like you? Or are you willing to be perhaps a tad uncomfortable, if just for a moment or two, and to be the beneficiary of the diversity that your new school or job destination is so proud to have achieved? And just in case you haven't been paying attention, diversity across the landscape of higher education is now under serious threat. The U.S. Supreme Court is about to issue a ruling, and I mean any day, that is expected to effectively end race-conscious admissions to colleges and universities in the United States. When affirmative action was eliminated at the University of California in 1995 and the University of Michigan in 2006, diversity plummeted. Efforts to find alternatives to increase minority enrollment since then have largely failed. Black enrollment at the University of Michigan was 8% before 2006. It is now 4%. If you are a believer in diversity and equity and inclusion, then fellow proponents believe the court's expected ruling could set them back decades or more. If you favor the court's expected ruling, and many will, then you will hail the notion that it is only fair that all applicants to American colleges and universities line up at the same starting line. If you believe that a truly diverse community of students enhances the educational value for all students, and that many young people of color have been victimized by financial and educational disadvantages, even though their abilities are easily recognized, and colleges have the opportunity to educate them so that they can return to their communities and make incalculable contributions, while select others have the chance to benefit all humankind, then the court's anticipated ruling could cause you grave concern. But let's bring this all back to you, please. Over the next several months, you will figure out what you need to bring to college, what clothes, what items for your dorm room, etc. But far more important than anything, please bring to school or to your new workplace your open mind. Yes, you might benefit from a gatekeeper. Your mind might benefit from a gatekeeper, but only a gatekeeper that is committed to your growth as a good person, a curious person, an empathic person. You have been given a gift, the gift of discovery. Don't limit yourself, either in terms of what you learn, how you think, or whom you befriend. If it's your personality to reach for the stars, then reach. If it's your personality to lay back and build the self-confidence to take on your next challenge, well, that's perfect too. Don't be fooled into thinking that life is a sprint. It's not. It is much more a marathon, filled with possibilities. And there's that word again, possibilities. See them, snatch them up, and make them yours. And oh yeah, don't forget to have some fun. I mean, if not now, when? Thank you all. Class of 23, congratulations, and the best of luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. We're glad AI failed and ChatGPT failed and we had you in person. It's my pleasure now to introduce the next two speakers. Our first speaker is our class salutatorian, Mia Shea. Mia, this year's salutatorian, served as co-president of Radnor FBLA for the past 2 years. She was also elected president of Region 19, Pennsylvania Future Business Leaders of America, and previously was Region Secretary. A 3-time National Conference Leadership Conference qualifier, Mia has earned second place in both website design and e-business and national level. Mia was co-captain of the RHS girls tennis team and was named the most valuable player for 2 consecutive years. In addition to being a first-team All-Central League and all-mainline selection for all 4 years, she placed second in the Central League singles tournament and PIAA doubles tournament. Outside of school, Mia has been a volunteer for Acing Autism since 5th grade. Mia is a clarinet section leader in the RHS band and was previously selected for the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association District 12 band. She is also a 2-time National Spanish Exam gold medalist and a member of the Spanish Service Club. Additionally, Mia is a member of the National Honor Society and volunteers for Radnor Historical Society. Mia was a National Merit Scholarship finalist and was a U.S. Presidential Scholar candidate. She received the Spanish Book Award and the Smith College Book Award at the RHS Junior Academic Book Awards in 2022. Mia will attend Rice University. I am proud to introduce your class salutatorian, Mia.
Thank you, Mr. Batchelor, for the kind introduction. Hello and congratulations to the class of 2023. I'd like to start off with a thank you to everyone who has supported me on my journey. To the teachers, administrators, and staff, your tireless efforts to foster a nurturing environment for all students have not gone unnoticed. I especially want to thank my parents for constantly pushing me to be the best version of myself, and my brother Max for graduating 4 years ahead of me so that I never had to see you in the halls. Lastly, I want to express my sincere gratitude to my fellow classmates for all the incredible memories we have shared over the last 4 years. When I learned that I would be giving this speech, I began reflecting on my 9 years at Radnor. Admittedly, I spent the bulk of this time chasing after the highest grades, test scores, and honors, which contributed to me standing here today as your salutatorian. For a long time, I equated success to a preconceived notion of perfection, but now I find myself pondering the true meaning of success. Is it lifting that shiny trophy, finding a stellar report card in the mail, or receiving a dream college acceptance? Perhaps the definition of success is different for every individual, and for me, these things were how I measured my success in the past. Yet recently, I've come to the realization that the joy that accompanies these tangible rewards is short-lived. When the applause dies, the flow of congratulations ceases, and the hit of dopamine subsides, what are we left with? Far too often, we become so fixated on the end result that we forget to enjoy the process. As I look back on high school, what I'll remember the most are not the fleeting moments of glory when I received a good grade or was presented with an award, but rather the study sessions in the library, getting distracted by puzzles, lunches in the cafeteria, catching up with friends, and bad jokes made by my teachers, not to mention names. The moments saved forever in my camera roll are those of the marching band playing under the Friday night lights, loud bus rides to and from tennis matches, and school dances that made my ears ring from the music. Unfortunately, I can't mention this year's LM pep rally, because I was too busy tearing it up on the tennis court at States that day. But I'm sure it was an unforgettable experience for all of you. Because of these memories, I can say that my high school career was a successful one. I'm happy not because I walked out of high school as second in the class, but because I chased after my goals relentlessly, without letting my desire to be successful stop me from doing the things I love and being with the people I love. And now I can even laugh about all the sleepless nights pulling my hair out over calculus problems and cramming for Doc Molman's infamous physics tests. With the education we have received at Radnor, I have no doubt that we all have what it takes to live up to our own measures of success. Whether that be the change we instigate, the lives we transform, or the relationships we forge, I hope that we can all imbue our education with value. My greatest wish for the class of 2023 is that the diploma we are about to receive is an important stepping stone to not only an accomplished professional life, but also a life full of love, laughter, and genuine human connection. Thank you, and I'm honored to have been your salutatorian, classmate, and friend.
Thank you, Mia. It's now my pleasure to introduce our class valedictorian, Naomi Gross. Naomi has a, yes, we can do applause. Naomi has a keen interest in medicine and has volunteered at Jefferson Healthcare in Philadelphia, specifically in the neonatal intensive care unit and the community practice center. In addition, she has shadowed healthcare professionals, including doctors, nurses, and lab technicians in fields like obstetrics, gynecology, pediatrics, and primary care. Naomi is a member of the National Honor Society at Radnor High School, received 2 Junior Book Awards, the Harvard University Book Award and the German Book Award. She has also earned a bronze medal in the 2022 National German Exam for German 4. Naomi was the co-captain of the Radnor varsity softball team for the 2nd year and ran on the varsity cross-country team for 3 years. She hopes to complete a full marathon in college. During high school, Naomi worked as a teacher's assistant at her synagogue while also working part-time. In addition, Naomi regularly volunteers with Mainline Meals on Wheels in Devon, which involves delivering meals to homebound elderly in the community. Naomi will attend the University of Wisconsin-Madison for biology on the pre-medicine track. It is my pleasure to introduce again your class valedictorian, Naomi Gross.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Hello and congratulations to Radnor High School's graduating class of 2023. What a crazy 4 years we've had, piled with ups and downs and everything in between. From our first LM week as freshmen, to virtual classes and masks, to a senior year finale filled with college applications, prom mosh pits, and the surprisingly all-consuming game of Senior Assassin, it's been a roller coaster. I'm truly honored and thrilled to be standing in front of you today. Being valedictorian has been my own miniature roller coaster, from great happiness and celebration to some panic about having to speak in front of you all. My job today is to inspire you, but as I look out, you all inspire me. In front of me sit students at the peak of academics, accepted to top-ranked universities, athletes who have set records with their teams at Radnor, and artists whose work lights up the school hallways. There's so much talent packed into our little class of 260 students. Our responsibility now is to take this talent into the world and let it multiply, let it grow and evolve, and let it spread beyond us to inspire everyone it touches. I would not be here without the love, support, and confidence of my family, friends, and teachers who walked with me every step of the way. To my parents, your hard work and dedication for everything you do has inspired me to do the same. I also can't give this speech without mentioning that my mom was also the valedictorian at her high school back in the day. Thanks for the good genetics, I guess. To my 3 sisters, your vibrance in theater, your passion for gymnastics, and your enthusiasm for field hockey, as well as helping me out with Senior Assassin, are only a few reasons why I admire each of you. Thank you to all of my family. To my friends, you have no idea how much joy you bring me, from our long walks in the hallways, hours on the phone at night, trips to So Fun Yogurt, and some intense tennis matches. You guys believed in me more than I ever did, so thank you. My teachers over the years have taught me one important lesson on top of what we learned in the classroom. Doing what you love makes you better at what you do. When I think about all the teachers that I've had, I can certainly name a few that I remember best, mostly for good reasons. I was thinking about why those teachers popped up in my head, but not others. It wasn't that they all had the same personality or taught my favorite subjects or even had a certain teaching method. I realized that the teachers I remembered best were the most passionate, the most excited, and the most enthusiastic about what they were teaching, their very own subject, whether it was math or science or English. Mrs. Trazo's excitement for biology was part of the reason I chose to major in biology in college. Frau Silverman's love for teaching her native language is infectious when you sit in her classroom. And 2 years of Miss Greenewald's classes have, I think, given me a head start in medicine. These teachers and so many more will be strongly linked to my memories of high school. After hundreds of pages of notes and hours of homework, my teachers most importantly taught me that you must do what you love and what you're passionate about. It's the most effective way to be successful. Graduation is the start of a new era. Speaking of eras, and considering many of us saw her in concert, including myself, I think it's fitting to share a quote from the one and the only Taylor Swift. Quote, "Life isn't about how to survive the storm. It's about how to dance in the rain." Unquote. After a rainy prom day, I think many of us know how to do that. We are going to come across countless storms in our lives, but we must stay afloat. I refuse to go through my life just making it day to day, waiting for Friday to arrive and getting caught in the storm. It's up to us to take charge, to pave the paths of our own lives. Tomorrow, with diplomas in our hands, it's our turn to lead the way. I saw a short video clip recently that I want to tell you about. It was of a little girl, and in the video, the girl's mother asked her how much she wanted to make at her job when she was older. The little girl thought for a second, then responded that she wanted to make people happy. She didn't say anything about money, which was the intent of the question. Instead, her primary goal was doing good and helping others. Let us share this little girl's perspective of success. Let us do our part to make the world a better place, and hopefully some money will come with that. It is time for us to unleash upon the world our talents, our passions, and our experiences. We are going to college all across the country, from places nearby in Pennsylvania, like Penn State, Pitt, and Penn, to the University of Florida, to Rice University in Texas, to Bowdoin College in Maine, to schools in California, even the University of Wisconsin, as well as joining the workforce, the military, and taking some gap years as well. The intellect of the class of 2023 spreading across the country is like the explosion of sparks from a firework. But let our firework not be the one that fizzles out in the dark. Let our firework be the kind whose sparks crackle and pop like miniature fireworks of their own. There is so much energy contained right here in the classmates sitting around us. When we leave this place, let our academic, athletic, and artistic abilities shock the world like the grand finale of a fireworks show. And let that show never end. Congratulations, class of 2023. It's been a blast. We did it.
All right, guys, here we go. Dr. Batchelor, Mrs. Goldman, for the purpose of awarding diplomas, I present to you the class of 2023.
Philip Joseph Duffy.
Matthew Jinsuk Riom.
Lauren Casey Kelly.
Amelia Helena Dole.
Afia Fatima Abdulaziz.
Eleanor Adams.
Yeshfa Sheikh Ahmad.
Christopher Wesley Anderson.
Gerard Orson Atkinson.
Connor Edward Bauman.
Farnaz Bazyar.
Tyler Wesley Beck.
Eric Ethan Bahar.
Holly Elizabeth Bevanor.
Coralie Tsingshang Tsao Balelo.
Gianna Gray Bloomfield.
Grace Walsh Bookbinder.
Peter Joseph Bragdon.
Jacob Harrison Braunfeld.
Dennis Ryan Brennan.
Matthew Timothy Brown.
Matthew Charles Brubaker.
Olivia Jean Brubaker.
Bridget Claire Burke.
Amir Jaden Bird.
Bryn Valerie Carrigan.
Julia Ribeiro Carvalho.
Ethan Tyler Cato.
Luciano Pasquale Chadha.
Gwyneth Ann Chase.
Leon Chen.
Camden William Cheshire.
Timothy Nathan Chettle.
Alexander Juntin Chung.
Matthew Choi.
John Carl Church.
Catherine McCall Seminero.
Louisa Rory Clark.
Caden James Cleffy.
William Stitz Coleman.
Margot Sophia Page Colonna.
Nicholas Thorpe Conlon.
Campbell Pierce Coonley.
Ryan Joseph Covello.
Scott Montaner Dalkin.
Joseph Edward Daniels.
Roman Luke Davies.
Nicholas Chenery DeCane.
Tyler John Dell.
Thomas Joseph DeShan.
Aiden Xavier Detrue.
Melanie Elizabeth DeWorf.
Antonio Giovanni Di Fulvio.
Sophia Marie Di Giovanni.
Anushka Dixit.
Megan Delia Dole.
Evan James Dory.
Gabriel M. R. Douthwaite.
Guinevere Grace Dunn.
Kelsey Virginia Dunkel.
Christopher Chen Shure Zhao.
Juliet Marion Eggkrings.
Leanna Medhat Elaba.
Finn E. Elizardi.
Mia Giselle Engel.
Sabina Sofia Eraso.
Chloe Grace Ernst.
Angela Janice Escrow.
Rafael Ferreira de Souza Fagundes.
Connor A. Eustace.
Carson J. Feinberg.
Stephanie Heinleft Ferreira.
Mia Flores.
Zachary Chase Fluck.
Delaney Elizabeth Flynn.
Colin Alexander French.
Mark Stephen Gabay.
Jackson Kaufman Gaffney.
Lillian Strickland Games.
Claudia Louise Gellis.
Michael Scott Giroux.
Haley Grace Giardinelli.
Anastasia Sophia Giuntoli.
Keely Ann Glansman.
Alexander David Goldstein.
Lauren Elizabeth Goldstein.
Maxwell John Goldstein.
Christopher Patrick Goncher.
Oh my God. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. Gianna Lene Graves.
Joseph Nolan Griffin.
Naomi Rachel Gross.
Cormac Fitzpatrick Harper.
Yeah. Ellen Barnes Hederick.
Quinn Robert Heery.
Achille Akai Alfonso Haywood.
Jackson Francis Hickey.
Caitlin Grace Hickey.
Isabella Hatsua Higeki.
Samuel Rodney Hilbert.
Emma John Hillman.
Emily Margaret Holtz.
Victoria Page Holtz.
Dante Michael Hobson.
Theodore Charles Hoysgard.
Lee Quinton Rico.
Alan Huang.
Tara Sharma Hug.
Edward Ha.
Sayed Fawaz Hussein.
Eli Raymond Idicula.
Ava Lynn Imperato.
Sam Jax Irani.
Zachary James Irani.
William Francis Yanchka.
Alexander Wenjie G.
Erin Susan Jibu.
Elizabeth Johnstone.
Kwang Jun Jung.
Sophia Bredis Kaiserman.
Madeline Anita Kane.
Kelsey Ann Kasher.
Ajavia Andrea Keith.
Marco Declan Kelly.
Tegan Elizabeth Kelsall.
Thomas Lawson Kennedy.
William David Kent.
Ha-Jun Kim.
Peter Hyunmin Kim.
Abigail Faye Kloss.
Andrew William Knight.
Vahe Albert Kazelian.
Dominic Christopher Laudicina.
Skylar Cho Lee.
Luke Michael Lebaudet.
Amanda S. Lee.
Paige Haley LaFleur.
Noah Abel Lichtenwalner.
Isabel Ming Shen Liu.
Raymond Chang Luan.
Sophia Lynn Lucci Eustace.
Edith Lillian Mackenzie.
Shamina Halima Mahula.
David Jeffrey Marshall.
Catherine Ann Martin.
Ellis Rose Matthias.
Frank Eugene May III.
Brody Farlam McCarthy.
Nathan Robert McCreary.
Mariella McCage.
Michael John McNicholas.
Darcy Lorne McCrae.
Caitlin Barnes Miller.
Inez Miraca.
Keaton Lewis Monahan.
Mason Joseph Montrella.
Nicholas Walter Monty.
Claudia Stephanie Morales Euseda.
Carson Roderick Moore.
Andrew James Morris.
Levi Asher Morrison.
Cooper Scott Douglas Miller.
Maximilian Philip Muller.
Harry Murphy.
Mariam Nasser.
Niobe Nashidim Murphy.
Fiona May Neary.
Alex Martin Saldivar Nelson.
Pedro Nunez.
Mirena Adriana Ordóñez López.
Jason Sungwoo Oh.
Sydney Jennifer O'Shea.
Kaylee Ellen Wollett.
Ambra Perfetto.
Luke George Phillips.
Brooke Lee Plazinski.
Casey Lynn Plazinski.
Benjamin Eric Plapa.
Makai Elijah Pastel.
Natalie Elizabeth Pratt.
Stephanie Ann Pratt.
John Paul Pruitt.
Sonali Purowit.
Giovanni Anthony Raps.
Anne Aurora Eileen Rayer.
William Eugene Remfrey III.
Olive Joan Richter.
Aiden Michael Roselle.
Samantha Beth Rosen.
Daniel James Rosenblum.
Cooper Montgomery Roy.
Maxwell Philip Rubenstein.
Samuel Blaine Rudy.
Lauren Suman Yu.
Fiona Byrne Ryan.
Aiden Doran Ryder.
Jack Thomas Sakowski.
Anna Isabella Sanderson.
Maya Shunker.
Mary Monica Haddad Serene.
Aiden Marcy Scharf.
Alexander Quinn Schrod. Jonathan Michael Schwartz.
Did we skip one?
You didn't go.
We
sorry.
didn't go.
It's
Yeah,
you.
wait, I didn't do Schwartz.
You did.
I didn't do Sydney.
Sorry.
Schultz, right? Sydney Morgan Schultz. You did 2 in a row. Benjamin Roger Selback.
Dikshanya Santha Milsalvan.
Jacob Boaz Shalev.
Marich bin Sharik.
Andrew Gardner Sheehan.
Jeremy Owen Shields.
Olivia Dale Shea.
Zoe Lauren Simone Dobin.
Brandon Edward Scabla Jr.
Anton Skvortsov.
Anshali Maya Slame.
Gavin DeWitt Slate.
Finn Mark Hammond Spears.
Jillian Marie Spiller.
Harry Michael Stein.
Sean Paul Stone.
Pablo Ortlieb Strid.
Brooke Helena Strike.
Ella Tatum Sewell.
Ian Yerquan Sun.
Sarah Jessica Tachow.
Mecca Maya Terry.
Mackenzie Mason Tewksbury.
Rasani Thapa.
Charles Gregory Thornton.
Yifei Tian.
Luke Anthony Tobin.
Ryan Joseph Tobin.
Norbert Bach Tran.
Khadijatu Pon Ture.
Christopher John Tyberski.
Ryan Joseph Van Duzen.
Jacob Thomas Van Horn.
Gabriel Alexander Vandeveer.
Julia Love Vines.
Lucia Faye Christina Verdone.
Naira Joyce Marie Waiters.
Lila Lane Wallace.
Ziween Wan.
Jessica Wong.
Kyle Wong.
Marina Chen Wong.
Declan Thomas Warner.
Kathleen McKenna Warner.
Kira Dale Warner.
Kyle Nicholas Welsh.
Catherine Ann Holden Winston.
Matthew William Wolfington.
Mia Shea.
Marisa Elizabeth Katzman Ximenez.
Hannah Yao. Paige Leanne Yurchak.
First off, congratulations. For my speech, I decided to write a letter to our class to show my gratitude. Dear Radnor, class of 2023, thank you. I'm not sure what I was expecting when I entered Radnor High School and joined the Radnor school community 4 years ago, but it was definitely not to be welcomed and embraced as much as I was. Each and every one of you is an indispensable piece in a collection of incredibly empathetic, passionate, intelligent, fun, kind, and loving individuals who I'm lucky to know and love. In 4 years, a person gets to know who their classmates really are. And as a result of this, our collective time together, I have optimal confidence in your abilities to change the world. I urge you all to recognize this potential you hold and never lose sight of who you are, because the world needs more people like you all, the people who lit up the school hallways and who have made the last 4 years the ball there ought to be. Though I'm not sure my recent tenure as a high school graduate merits me espousing advice in any form, I'll leave you with one perspective change that has altered my everyday life. Regardless of how much money you have, how many friends you make, or how much success you see, one thing will stay consistent. You will always have to do things that you do not want to do. Consider making this distinction in your thoughts to embrace every moment. It's not what you have to do, but what you get to do. For example, for our class, we all didn't have to wake up and go to school early the last 4 years. We got to. You don't have to begin the next chapter of your life this afternoon or this summer. You get to. And if these past few weeks have taught me anything at all, it is to enjoy the little things. I wish I could go back and enjoy one last free period in the cafeteria courtyard, have one last lunch period at the beloved corner table, and simply one more day of school. So, finally, I hope that whether you've been dreading this day or anticipating it, you can find the good when reminiscing on these past 4 years. Congratulations again, and from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all a safe, happy, and healthy next chapter of your lives. Sincerely, Amelia.
At this time, I invite Dr. Glennie and the Meister Singers up to sing the Radnor High School Alma Mater. Dr. Glennie, thank you for all of your years. We wish you all the best. Please rise for the singing of our Alma Mater. Teachers, if you would like to come down to greet the graduates, you're welcome to do so on the side here. I now present to you the graduates of the Radnor High School class of 2023. all those doors.
Are we putting the cellos in there? Or?
Just leave all your stuff there.
Okay.